cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on this stuff. Well, welcome back to the channel, everyone, and to be honest, I had plans on doing this video out on the bank, but it's chucking it down. It's horrific weather outside, and I just wanted to get this video done. So I thought, do you know what, we're going to come back into my office, into the little tackle den, and do one from here. It's been a while since we've done anything in here, and it's for good reason too, because there's two products that I want to talk to you about that we are launching next week. So they'll be in shops next week, so look out for them because they're really good products. The first one is Detection line. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you will have no doubt seen this beauty on our social media channels, the NuFish social media channels. We've been testing it for a long time, and we've been teasing it for a good few months now. Up until like a few weeks ago, nobody knew the name, but what we've been doing actually is giving spools of it to anglers that we really trust, people whose opinion we really value, people who are sponsored by other companies who probably shouldn't be using it but have been using it, and then people that we just trust, anglers that we really know and respect. They've been adding it, and nobody has given us any negative feedback yet, which is just testament to how much work the lads at NuFish have put into this. Mick himself was keen to do a line that was a little bit different to the norm, and that's exactly what he's done with this. So what is Detection and why did we do it? Well, it's a low stretch mono. It's got a 20% stretch, so it's not zero stretch, it's not no stretch, it's just low stretch. We wanted to give you an option, an alternative to braid. Braid's expensive, it can be tangle, it can be quite tangle prone, it's just an expensive thing to go about using. And for a lot of anglers, it's just out of their budget. You know, you're looking at 20, 30, I even saw a spool of braid that was up for sale the other day for 40 quid. Which I know it lasts a long time, but for someone who doesn't do a lot of braid fishing, who just wants to give it a try, it's a bit of an outlay. We wanted to resolve that a little bit whilst creating a line that you can use for everything. And that's why we did Detection. It's low stretch, so if you are like Mick and like those guys looking to fish for silvers, skimmers and stuff, and you're looking for little shy bites, then this stuff is going to magnify that. That 20% stretch really enhances those bites. You can see them almost like braid. You're going to get them little taps that are going to absolutely be exaggerated on your tip. Really, really good. It's got a real purpose. It's got a real advantage to using this over other monos. And of course, there's some venues where you can't use braid on the reel anyway. A lot of commercials where we're doing feeder fishing for silvers, you're not allowed braid. So this gives you the option of using something low stretch that's going to magnify your bites like braid, but you can use it legally because it's mono. But I can hear you saying straight away, well, is it only any good for silverfish fishing then? No, I've been using this a lot for carp fishing. We fully tested it. Phil Canning, Sam Collett were using it last summer for all their carp fishing, and they were having great success with it. And there's a few reasons why it is actually an advantage to use this over other monos. As I'm going to keep saying it, it's low stretch, not no stretch. So if you do want to use it for carp fishing, you can do with total confidence because you've still got that bit of cushion. However, there's a number of advantages to using this over standard mono when it comes to carp fishing. Firstly, and this is something Mick said to me just in passing, and I was like when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Bit of spiel. But having actually used it now for like distance fishing, a lot of method feeder fishing, it really rings true. And that is when you're whacking a feeder out. Firstly, when you fish with braid direct, when you cast, you get a lot more compression from your rod. The low stretch transmits the weight of the feeder through your rod instantaneously, and you get that lovely power output out of your rod, and your feeder flies out there. A lot of jargon here, but it is true. Anyone who does a lot of long distance fishing, the carp anglers, they all use braid shock leaders, and even in Europe, a lot of them use a braided shock leader and mono mainline. So it just shows you how important having that low stretch shocker is, or can be, for hitting those extra yards. So firstly, I really noticed that difference when I'm whacking out. The line I used to use was a good all-round line, but it was quite stretchy. When you really wind up a feeder, you could tell it wasn't low stretch, whereas this, totally low stretch. So you're getting that advantage of being able to really power the rod and power the feeder out there with it. The second advantage, of course, is actually getting your feeder to go in the water nicely. So by that I mean, when you're chucking a feeder a long way, say 50 metres plus, I consider anything over 50 metres a decent chuck. When it comes to actually getting your feeder to go in nicely, when you've got a normal stretch mono, you almost hit the clip and you can feel it bounce back or bong, and you get like this funny thing, and you can't actually feel the feeder going in, if that makes sense. You sort of just got it's a bit of a guesswork. Whereas with this, because there's so little stretch, you can actually feel it. You can almost like correct the feeder as it's going in, and it just plops in lovely. And we went to Barton last week with Match Fishing Magazine, and I had a proper day fishing long range. I was fishing between 60 and 70 metres Again, I consider that long range. And I'm chucking it out there, and you can feel it through the air. You can get all the feeling. As soon as you like dab the finger on the spool, just slowing it down, you can feel it, and then all of a sudden like plops in, just lovely. And it was Mick who mentioned it to me, and like I say, I thought, yeah, whatever. But actually, now I've actually been out and done it properly and had a few good sessions with it, I can really see it is actually a thing. And Zach Williams, who's a really, really top feeder angler, has been using this for months now, and he keeps messaging us saying how impressed he is with it, and he's been using it for all his carp fishing with great success at places like Boddington and stuff, and he's been having some really good results on it. So a big advantage that is with a low stretch for your carp fishing. Now, one thing that anyone who has actually used this line, the lads who we've given it to on the quiet, they've all come to us and said it is incredibly strong. Like once you get some in your hands next week, honestly, it's so strong. It's ridiculously strong. And actually, the breaking strain we've put on the spools is the knot strength. It's not the lineal. A lot of people who sell line put the lineal strength on the spool because it looks better. Because obviously just the lineal strength of the line is a lot stronger than the actual knot strength. We've put the knot strength on there. So when you actually get it in your hands, you will not believe how strong it is. But we want it to be true. You can't fish without knots. So the breaking strain reflects that. The breaking strain you get is a true breaking strain when you've got knots in your line. And it is incredibly strong for its diameter. It's unbelievably high quality stuff, this is. We could have easily sold this for a lot more money, but we wanted to make sure you got it in your hands and give it a good go. And that's why it's $5.99 for 150 metres. It could easily be 10 quid a spool because it is a very high quality line and it is incredibly strong. So it's good for carp fishing, it's good for silvers fishing, it's good for feeder fishing. You can use it on a float too. Me and Mick went and did some waggler fishing a while ago. We did a brilliant video on the NuFish channel, which has had loads of views, and we used it in £3 for your insert waggler fishing, and it was brilliant. It is a sinking line though, so when you probably wouldn't want to use it for like stick float fishing. You could probably put some grease on it and get it floating, but for waggler fishing it's fine. It's available in £3, £4, £5, £6, £8 and £10. And you'll probably remember the flooded river fishing video that we did where we went out, Mick went and collected a load of lobbies and we caught some chub and barbel on a really flooded River Trent with a £10. And it just stood up to that, no problem. He was pulling these barbel through the reed beds that were sort of mid-river, no problem at all. The abrasion resistance is all there. I cannot bang on about this line enough. It is brilliant. It's so smooth. When you get it in your hand, every single shop that we've taken it to, the reps have run it round to all the shops to show them it. Everybody gets it in their hand and they're like, they can't believe how smooth it is. Obviously, that's going to add distance. It's a proper coating that we've put on there that makes it. It's a coating treatment that we put on there that makes it incredibly abrasion resistant. It's hard to pick a flaw with this line, it really is. It's level wound on the spool, so you get beautiful line lay on your reel. It's super smooth, it flies off the spool when you're casting. It's a joy to use, and I've never been a line buff, but since getting this in my hand, I just don't want to use anything else. So really excited for you all to try it. It's a great line, it's brilliant. I can't say enough about it, and I know I work for the company, but the people who are sponsored by other companies that have used it are all singing from the same hymn sheet as far as how good it is. So you're going to love it. Like I say, next week, I think it's going into shops on the 29th, so back in the next week. And if you go into the Big One show, we'll have it for sale there as well. So really, really good. The second product that I was asking for, as soon as I started at NuFish, and I got using the elastics, and Sam Collett, who was a hydro user, he always used like red hydro margin fishing. He wanted a stronger elastic and I wanted a stronger elastic, so he challenged the lads to do it, and this is the answer. The 18 plus power margin ZIPP 2.6mm. We wanted to add another grade in, but we didn't want it to be like 3mm or something ridiculous, because the blue is strong, the blue's a lovely elastic for edge fishing, but there are days in the height of summer when you're fishing those big ones where even on the blue they give you a bit of a run around. So we wanted something that was the next step up without being ridiculous, something that you could still use in your normal poles. You didn't necessarily need a margin pole, and that's why we went for the 2.6. The blue's 2.4mm, so this is just the next step up, and it's a beautiful elastic. The colour's amazing, so when you're fishing you can see it when it's coming out. Whether that's important to you or not, who knows, but I really like high vis colours, and it just powers up so well. You get that lovely, you strike into them, they come out the swim lovely, and then you can land them in double quick time. So 3 metres, 3 metre lengths, as before. That popular ZIPP elastic, what we sell loads of. You've all asked for it. We've added a stronger one to the range, so I cannot wait for you to try that as well. That's a really good one. And yeah, with these two products, like I say, big one show, you'll be able to see them. It's gonna be really good. Are you going to the big one show? Let me know in the comments below, and let us know if you're going to try these. We've been getting loads of questions from people asking us when it's coming out. So it's coming out next week. It'll be in shops back end of next week, and then we'll have it at the big one show as well. So can't wait to see, for you to all see it, for you to all try them both, particularly the detection line. It's a first for us. We've never done line before, and you're going to be super impressed when you get your hands on it. So thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next video.